Thank you. We've had a lot of great partners here, and we talk a lot about co-creating. The thing that I think is the most exciting is when you create something and you see it initially as a concept, and then after months of hard work, sometimes it takes years of hard work here at Advantech, you see something come out at the other end and it's successful. And that's what we want to share with you. We want to give you this story working with our partner, Symantec, Kunal, who's the GM of IoT, and Vincent and his DMS team, who's amazing. They never fail to amaze me here. We come to them all the time with some of these tremendous challenges, and time and time again, they kind of find a way to bring success to the table. So we're going to talk a little bit about this story today. But you know, we came here, this is the World Partner Conference, and we come here with different sets of lenses, whether it's smart cities, healthcare. We heard about Sequino and what they're trying to accomplish, and Lenaro talked earlier about their application, which was intriguing as well. You go into factory automation, energy and power, logistics, retail. No matter what you're in, again, you come to the table with a different set of lenses, and you look at it from your side of the table of, hey, this is my pains, this is my needs, this is my interest. How can you help me? And the thing that I love about working with Advantech and the business that Casey's built over the last 36 years with all of our hard work from the Advantechers here is the amazing products and services that we can bring to the table. And we always joke because we say, how many products do we have? I have no idea, but it's thousands. It's thousands of products. And those products are usually what we start with when we create something really cool and unique and innovative. And you've seen numbers of cases today. But why do our customers come to Advantech? I think it's because they see us as a trusted advisor. They know that we have rugged, industrial, proven hardware that can really resonate within the application space that they're trying to serve. And oftentimes they can pick it up and run with it and go with it. And you've seen a number of those applications this week. But there's times when a customer comes to the table, they have a dream, they have a vision, and it's not easy. And I find myself saying, how are we going to do this? How are we going to accomplish this? Well, thankfully, Vincent and his team, they're the DMS team. And they can bring your dreams to reality, because if we don't have a standard product, most likely they can create it. And we cover all kinds of different verticals. And many of those are gaming and healthcare. But with industrial IoT, we're seeing more and more needs to be able to instrument assets that have no data coming off of them today, or securing assets that haven't previously been secured. But the key thing about DMS is that even if it's a product that has never been created and it's just a vision, it's a concept, we take you through a proven process. We're a process-driven company. And the NPI process that we have, it's doing verification and validation. Those thousands of products that are standard off the shelf, Vincent and his team takes those same processes and applies it to DMS to make sure that when we bring the product to market, it's reliable, it's cost-effective, and ultimately helps you have success. So I'm sure that many of you left your families and came thousands of miles away to come over here to Taiwan to learn about some of the stories to help you understand how we can co-create a future of IoT. So what I want to do today is share with you the story that we have with our friends over at Symantec and show you how they really push the envelope on how we could create what hadn't been done before. So with that said, I'm going to hand it over to Kunal. He's going to talk to you about the journey that we went down over the last year. Kunal, can you share?
Ni hao. So my name is Kunal Agarwal. I am based in California, but I came here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I love Taiwan a lot. Taipei is one of the most beautiful cities I've been to. And building beautiful things is something that me and anyone that I love to work with, we love building beautiful things. And what you're going to see today is an instantiation of deep learning, a way of analyzing malware manifested in a physical product. So building something that's so different into something physical is something that I can say today after completing this project, I think with all of you, is it would only be possible with Advantech. So to give you the story started with a lot of our customers, our biggest customers around the world. Imagine a Johnson & Johnson or a Pfizer or a Carnival Cruises. These organizations use very, very large systems to control their businesses. Manufacturing practice, if I want to build pharmaceuticals, or if I want to have a ship, a cruise ship, move thousands of people from Miami to all the way to the Caribbean. How do you do that? Well, that ship is run by systems. And those systems, actually, they're running on Windows XP systems. And the same thing exists for manufacturing here at Advantech. And what we saw is that all these systems were vulnerable. Because as soon as you want to upload new data in the system, there's no internet, there's no Dropbox.com. The only way you can do it is via a USB. And a USB actually contains lots and lots of infections. Now, can anyone think about why that might be? Well, every day you wash your hands, right? But in this case, you don't really wash your USBs. And so we needed to build this USB washing station, a washing machine for USBs. And really went back to the drawing board. Because as I said before, like Taipei, we wanted to build something very, very beautiful. And looked at different design concepts. And it would have been very, very easy, as you rightfully said, to just take a device, plug in the USB, it cleans it, and you're done. But we wanted to take it a step further and say, hey, how can we build this experience, a visual experience, where somebody can look at it and actually say, wow, that is cool. And after going through it, there's these incredible engineers over in Symantec and Mountain View, as well as the folks over here in Advantech. We came up with a design that based on different use cases that were out there. For example, we wanted people to feel like when you're going in there, you're almost going through a maze. But if you were inexperienced with the product, you instantly know how to use it. You should not have any instruction manual whatsoever. When somebody goes in and uses it, they should feel that this is the best product on the market. Because it's easy to build a competitor product, that's just the normal one. But we wanted to build the next level one. And so this is what the initial design looked like. It was just a drawing, and the drawing came together. I remember Kevin, who drew this, he put together this thing, and we decided, well, let's have an LED light ring so we can build visualizations. Let's have a beautiful pretty box. Let's do all these different things. And so many ideas started to pop up. And we started to build color model versions of the same thing, where you have different colors on the LED rings, and then you also have a display that doesn't just show a loading or a process bar. It actually uses emulation of particles to show how the USB is being cleaned. So this was a very, very strong out there vision, again, it was just a drawing, and this is, honestly, it was not that long ago. Almost about a year ago is when we first started to build the first models of this. And thanks to Justina, who always used to keep us on track, it was very, very possible. And finally, this was the final version. It's entirely built out of aluminum, completely anodized, very beautiful finish, with a bright LED screen that you can look at and instantly know what to do. You just plug in the USB with the cone. It's waterproof on the cone. It's just awesome. We have thousands of these around the world now with some of our largest customers, and these customers just love it because they say that without this product, they would be vulnerable to infections. And you think about that, right? If I am a Maersk shipping line, for example, how did they get infected? It's the same silly but very important thing, is that USB is easily able to move through all your defenses and then infect a system that has no anti-malware system. Make sense? And so when we build something like this, I will say it is kind of surreal to be here, back here. This is probably the third or fourth time I've been here, but to come back to Advantech and remembering that back just a year ago, it was just a prototype or a concept or a phase. We never really thought that we'd get to where we are today, where many folks are using it, and they like it, they use it, and then when we go online, we have a cloud console that this feeds data up to. And as soon as we look at that, up to half of the USBs that our customers use have infections on them. And that's quite a bit. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and transition over to our very strong partner. Thank you so much for all your help. And here's the mic. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
As we know, this is not a regular embedded box PC, is it? This is not.
Absolutely not.
So this really give us a hard time to, you know, coming from the prototype to the real product. So I mean, there are a lot of communication back and forth with the Symantec team. Yeah, and to check every try, we need to check the feasibility and acceptance of the Symantec. As you can see, the left side, left part coming from the 4-finger PCAP, and a wide temperature touch screen with a 1400 nits, and also need to put the motherboard inside, storage, fan cooler. And the right side, we have a LED ring, which look very beautiful but very tough too. And also a metal plate with a cone shape, and also IP64 waterproof. So the challenge actually coming from the mechanical, the thermal, the schedule, right? Not even mention there are special material treatment, there are customized, for example, like test plan, and also the feasibility of assembly and quality control. So this one we need to finish it within 6 months from the concept. Okay, this is a real challenge. So for mechanically, we will have to simulate the shape, the dimension, and also every time we do the thermal simulation, if we fail, we need to go back to redesign the box, the shape, and dimension again and again. So that's a pretty painful process as well. So as you can see, the thermal simulation, we use a frozen software so that we'll be able to actually visualize the airflow, and we can define and allocate the thermal solutions and with a very quiet, small fan and effectively. And next one is the LED ring. So, you know, the LED has to be illuminated with a mix up the different color of light and the gently brightness. To reach that kind of goal, we'll have to customize a LED board under the ring. So, but because Advantech is not an expert of how to make the light conductive to the surface of the ring, so we partnership with our eco-partner, Lion, the company called Lion, and they tell us how to really achieve that kind of goal through the LED and to make the LED ring right. And we also use the software Arduino to program the GPIO to really mix up all kinds of light and make it effective right. And also the USB 3.0, our core design. This is not so difficult for us because we have a lot of experience based on the Rocket computer. So it's very easy to choose to select the USB 3.0 component. But the challenge is also coming from the cable routing, how to make the system integrity trouble-free. So this is also one of the challenges. Okay, so talking about the material treatment, the Apple-like CNC texture, this is really a tough question for us, right? So to reach that goal, Advantech mechanical team worked very closely with Symantec to come out some prototype within 2 weeks. And we finalized everything within 2 months after the prototype come up. I think the 3 factors. One is the 3D printing. 3D printing, we use that to come up prototype with the effect we want and check and go back to make it really happen, okay? The second one is the CNC supplier. They use a special texture. They use a special cutting machine to make sure all the latch meal and the polish right can meet our customers' the standard, okay? The last one is the anodizing supplier. And this is really how make sure the Apple like the color consistency and also the effect. The last one, I will talk about the single board computer. You know, the good thing is we don't have to do everything from scratch. Fortunately, it's very easy to pick up from our 3.5-inch MIO board, MIO 5272. And so the Symantec team can really check the dimension of the board, the performance, or the I/O, and they can do their software development in parallel. This is the most important thing we can achieve the schedule. So, Shawn.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, I think if you look at the level of work that was done, but it's the timing of it all that really was amazing to me, was to be able to pull that off in 6 months, to go from really a napkin sketch or a sketch on a whiteboard into a PowerPoint to get a physical product into production. It was awesome. So I was happy to see that. And Kunal,
Yeah.
what did you think?
No, I mean, it was, as we're thinking about these different things like the aluminum pieces, it was, I just remember the back and forth, right? But there was never a point where I heard from anyone from the Advantech team and as our partners, hey, this is not going to be possible. It's always like, all right, how do we make this possible? And that's really important, right? Because when you have a very specific vision, you want the best people surrounded around you so you can help make that happen. And we had incredible at Symantec, incredible threat analysis engineers. So when you plug in USB, you know that it will be clean. So those are easy things. Building the software around it, those are visually pleasing. We can do that very well. Making sure that the microcontroller can be programmed so that it can have that beautiful LED ring. And we didn't show it yet, we will show it later, but show how that looks like. It's not just red, green, blue. It actually has pulsing with it, it has circulation with it, motion. Everything is motion on this device. And that was very, very key. That wouldn't have been possible unless this custom board was developed with all the flexibility of the microcontroller. And those are things that were done in partnership, but foundationally, these are part of Advantech's core competency.
So let's show.
Retrofitting an industrial environment with cybersecurity was an incredible challenge because we depend on these for water, food, transport, life. It's a sight unseen. Machinery is in place for decades, and we forget that these become outdated. Upgrades don't happen. And the entry is the human interfaces. Infect them and jump to the operational systems. Stuxnet taught us that the USB is the key vector. Even air-gapped systems are still vulnerable. The ICSP neural embodies simplicity with form married to function. It has a rugged aluminum iconic exterior. It's intuitive. Insert your device, it scans and cleans, and you're on your way. That's it. USBs will only work if they were scanned. And behind the scenes, an ensemble of our powerful technology, from mastering signatures to advanced machine learning, emulation to the global intelligence network, and finally, the neural engine, deep learning that mimics malware researchers, boosting detections more than ever before. It's a gateway to augmenting critical infrastructure with a central nervous system. It sets the new standard and a better way forward. Integrated cyber defense. Only from Symantec.
Awesome, I love that video. And there's a little Easter egg in there. I just want to tell you, this rock star over here, Kunal, that's his voice in the video. So I love it, great job.
I think that we'll definitely say that the experience here was quite, it is something that we'll always remember. And if we were going to do something like this again, definitely, and we will, we'll do it with Advantech. I mean, there's no other option, right?
That's awesome. Hey, Kunal, can you tell us a little bit about, if I bring up the word pretty box, what is a pretty box? Tell us about that.
So we built this product, we worked on all this anodization, everything had to be built. And then suddenly the new requirement came in and said, well, you know, we need like a perfume box. It needs to look like an Hermes or like a Louis Vuitton. So I don't know if any of you have walked around Taipei before, but anywhere you walk, if you can't see a Gucci or a Louis Vuitton somewhere, there's something wrong. There are so many malls in Taipei, and so there's a little bit of inspiration that came from that and said, well, what if we took the device, made it super shiny, glossy, and then took all of the states, the scanning state, you can see that here. You can see the clean state here, so when it's clean. And then you can see the infections, and then you can also see the galaxy, right? So the galaxy is the actual deep learning neural network. What would that look like if you had particle-based stuff? This was quite funny because I think that when you have a shiny box, there are scratches that come in, there's different particles, and these kinds of things have to align to, as you had mentioned earlier, process. and that process has to be there, and how many scratches can be there? Is it acceptable or is it not acceptable? How deep is the scratch? And I was okay with it. I think you all were very, very strict with it. But we're pretty proud, I think, all of us here today, and you can tell by probably our enthusiasm around the product, because it's not every day that you get a chance to make something that actually gets used by so many different people, but also looks pretty nice and just makes people look at it and say, oh wow.
Yeah, I love it. I think, this is the first project. I've been doing this for 20 years. And it's the first project that I could say is the closest thing that I've seen to a B2C type of product. We're in this B2B, business to business, and it's typically just a brown box, but our teams collaborated on every aspect of the project, from the cosmetic box that you see here, to the LED ring, to actually packaging it in an anodized body. It's been a fantastic project, and I love the way that it looks and it feels, and we're excited about see where it goes in the market. So Vincent, I'm gonna flip it to you. Can you give us a little bit more details about our partners here, our customers, and the other Advantechers that may be in here that aren't as familiar with DMS, how we can help them?
Sure. I don't want to confuse everyone, but we focus on vertical market, not B2C market. But we focus on some medical, some automation, AI, and all that smart city requirement. But we never limit ourselves to any kind of vertical project. For example, like this one, we'll be able to do that. Okay. Second thing I want to say is we are a company support DMS, not everything from headquarters. As you can see, Kunal's team does not have to talk too much to the headquarters directly. They have Shawn's team, they have a Clay's PM team in the region, and they also have a local details and engineering team. So that makes the Kunal's team very easy to communicate all the issues and the design concept together with our local team. Okay? So similar situation happened in our Europe. We have an engineering center in Munich, like Dirk just mentioned, and in the US we also have Cincinnati. Now in Japan, we even have Advantech Technology Japan to support you locally, and not even say China, the most big country here. We also have a local team in Kunsan, very close to Shanghai. So all the people there, you can talk to them locally, and they'll be able to access all the resources from headquarters as well. Okay. So this is my last page. So the best thing to work with Advantech is everything technology, send the product off the shelf at your convenience. You can pick up the product with 60%, 80%, 90% close to your requirement. And who will do the rest? DM's team will taking care of the rest for you. So with such a combination, I think this is the best way to achieve your goal. Shawn.
Yeah, thank you, Vincent. I think again, looking at it, anytime we're all selfish creatures, right? It's like we look at it from our set of lenses. What is it in for us? What I want to say is, if you have a vision for a product, regardless of if it's an off-the-shelf product from Advantech or it's something that you haven't been able to find in the marketplace, if you have a vision for it, I believe we can make it a reality. And together, let's co-create. That's what we're here for. It's WPC. Our goal is to get to $2 billion in 2020. And it's through creative products and with DMS services. I think it's a great opportunity to go grow together. So thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.